Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with Mixed Media Frenzy again, because the Mixed Media Frenzy video I did yesterday and which was published today was for next week. I was doing some things ahead and kind of got my dates mixed up, and I did December 10th instead of December 3rd. So I've got my stuff ready here to do December 3rd, and I'm going to kind of quickly go through with you what I'm doing, because I'll try to get the video out actually on the day that it was due, even if not at the time. So this is the original. It's got a lot of fall themed elements on that circle, which I think is a cut file. And I don't have a cut file like that, so I'll show you what I did. And then there's lots of, looks like watercolor mixed media in the background that kind of picks up on some of the colors in the embellishments. So having seen that, that's maybe the last time I'm going to show you that. You will see there are some stitched leaves and fall leaves and so forth. I'll show it to you at the end, but I kind of want to put it aside. So I'm combining this with a challenge that JoJo Kelly set at the Secret Not Secret Kit Club party last weekend. And she challenged us to go old school. Instead of using a cut file or a pre-cut ephemera or embellishments, she gave us some templates for leaves and turkeys and a couple other things, but I used this template and I've printed it here on white typing paper. Then I took it and printed it on 3 different pattern papers. There's that one that's striped, and there's this one that has kind of a herringbone pattern to it, and then there's this one that is an orange, a really beautiful orange, and it's got a very pale matte on it. And this is one of my favorite papers. It's from a Heidi Swap line called Destinations or No Limits, and it's got maps on the other side. So I was thinking I might cut these leaves out of the map side and try to do something with those on a different layout. But anyway, I've got lots of those leaves. I cut a circle. I traced a bowl over some black cardstock, and there are the trace lines, the white trace lines, and then I roughly cut around the outside and then around the inside. So that's going to be my defining circle, and I'm going to kind of maybe rough it up a little bit so that we'll see. I cut some leaves out of the black cardstock that was left on the outside of the circle there. I have something, please don't tell Scrappy Adam that I have used a piece of Flair from Doodlebug from their Happy Harvest assortment. It's the only Flair I owned, I think, when I subscribed to Dotty About Flair as soon as they began shipping across the pond. So I wanted to use that one because the image is so good and it brings in a color I like. So I've got that in there. I've used some BrambleFox perspectives, these 2 cloud colors. I've used lots of rub-ons from this rub-on sheet from a line called Summer's End by Fancy Pants, and I have a funny story to tell you about that. I have a lot of this collection because when scrapbook stores began going out of business, I went around and shopped some sales, and there was a lot of this left, and the store owner told me it was because the name of the collection is Summer's End, and people were wondering why they were using these kinds of colors and had all the fall images. Like, to me, Summer's End implies that it's turning into fall. I have these stickers which I haven't plan to use those. These are some stickers that when you put them, they're clear, so they'll look like stamps. I'm going to put those aside. I doubt I'll use any of those. I kind of like this Nuts About You sticker there, so I'll put that aside. There's some Studio 40 stickers here. Not sure I'll use any of those. I'll put those there. These colors are all wrong, but I did like this little sticker that had acorns, and I like some of the other things here, so I'm going to kind of hold that one off to the side of I might use it. So what I've done here, and I have a whole tray of embellishments, including sequins from the Rusted Fence mix. I've got a BrambleFox title and a few other perspectives. I've got some gold floss, and we'll see how that works out. I've taken this and kind of lined it up and run a pencil around it where it's going to be. And I was trying to figure out how to get my my mixed media in a circle like they did in the original. And so I'm maybe gonna kind of do this all around and then spritz it with some water. And I'm gonna kind of you can't see that, can you? Let me turn this around, get this lined up, and see if you can tell what I'm doing here. I'm going to take this and kind of rotate it like that and brush color in, and I'm not going to try to be too perfect about it. I'm going to go with my lightest color first, and I'm using different brushes from the ones that I'd used before. These I find don't put down as thick a coat of color as some of the others, as my other brushes. Let me kind of do another one. I'm going to do like 3 each. I've got this yellow and red, and never mind the dots, they should blur up a lot. Well, let me do one more over here, kind of. Right there. There are a million ways that I could have done this, and I tend to really like the water reactivity of distress oxides. So that was mustard seed. I'm right now using spiced marmalade, and I'm going to leave the yellow on there because it's going to kind of blend in a few places anyway. Okay. And I'm going to use a different orange, carved pumpkin, which is a little bit different shade. And then where the orange and yellow haven't filled in the full circle around here, and it's by no means going to be a perfect circle. So let me put those away. And this is, by the way, kind of depositing color a lot nicer than I expected. I'm just going to do a little kind of strip of red just to have some of that red color sneaking around in the mix here. Okay, so given this, let me do a little bit right out there because that hasn't come all the way around. Now I've got to do some to make it even out here, and that's okay. Now all of these colors are kind of adjacent on the color wheel, so they will not form mud. They're, there's red and yellow, which make orange, and those are the three colors I've got in here. So now I'm going to spritz these up. I'm going to go out from the center and kind of holding it at that angle doesn't necessarily accomplish what I want. So I'm going to kind of move it around a little bit along here. And I don't mind if some of those dots show. That's actually kind of pretty, I think. But let me get my paper towel quickly on here. Okay, so it has picked up most of the color. So, not a problem. We're just going to go kind of move some color around with the brushes. And let me get my yellow again. Normally, if I weren't filming, I would have left the color to dry naturally on there. And because I am filming, I'm kind of trying to dry things as I go along. And sometimes, I thought since I didn't coat the paper that it would soak in nicely. And it didn't soak in soon enough. And I'm going to, now that I've got the shape here, this does not bother me to go over it like this at all, because I can then spritz it with some more water. Whoops. I'm going to have to spritz where that red is for sure. Okay. Now let's put these back in here. And